I hope you guys appreciated that intro. I came back with about 10 ticks on me. Ticks. Why did it have to be ticks? Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
Pretty please, with sugar on top.
I'm really regretting not having an Indiana Jones t-shirt right now. So this is a big one. If you didn't know, this week marks the 40-year anniversary of the release of Raiders of the Lost Ark, the classic adventure film from the legendary duo of George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. What makes this movie so great? What has caused it to stand the test of time? Well, I'm going to get into that in this review today. Before I talk about anything, I have to talk about this opening scene. The opening scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of the greatest opening scenes in cinematic history. This right here is how you introduce an iconic character. This is a scene that tells you all you need to know about Indy as a character and the story you're about to see. Yes, there's a slow reveal of his actual appearance, and when he does appear fully on screen, it is pretty awesome, but you also get a sense of who he is as a person. They slowly reveal everything about him, including his character traits, which make him relatable. For one, you get a sense that he does stuff like this all the time, looking for artifacts. You see that knowledge and preparation went into this mission by the way he navigates through the booby traps on the way up to the idol. He also shows his flaws in this scene. Indy can be naive at times, and he places his trust in the wrong people many times throughout this story. There's also a moment where he can't quite make a jump, and he struggles to pull himself back up onto the ledge. That shows that he's human. He makes mistakes, and he doesn't have everything figured out. Nothing comes easy to Indiana Jones. He has to work for everything. You see it again when he thinks he safely has the idol, but he didn't account for the weight in the replacement bag properly, and this causes a chain reaction that sets off one of the most iconic moments in this movie. Yes, of course, I'm talking about Indy running away from the boulder. Not only is this scene very exciting and very well done, now we know these are the type of adventures that Indiana Jones goes on. This is basically the type of shit that Indy does on his weekends. And now we're just all along for the ride. Still not quite sure how he's able to be a teacher and hunt for artifacts, but you know, movies. Still in the opening scene, but we also get a glimpse of Indy's biggest fear, that being snakes.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
This is a fear that ironically saves his life later in the movie when he's trapped in the tomb with Marion. That's why I say this is a great opening sequence. It gets you up to speed with a character that you were meeting for the first time in 1981. That, my friends, is called great filmmaking. And of course, Harrison Ford's performance brings it all home. He's just so charming and cool and likable in this movie. It just makes everything fall into place and everything works about the Indiana Jones character. Tom Selleck was originally supposed to be Indy when this movie was first getting made, but I'm kind of glad that didn't happen because I don't think it would have had the same outcome. Jack, were you ever up for Indiana Jones?
You have the luxury of not knowing what I know.
You win some and you lose some.
You snotty little bastard.
And then we have the score, of course, and my god is John Williams an absolute fucking legend. I would argue that this is the second greatest score ever created for a movie next to Star Wars, which was also created by John Williams. This movie introduces us to a secret war that was going on and being overshadowed by an actual war that was being fought in the world during that time. The Nazis are trying to find all these possibly supernatural artifacts that is going to make their army invincible. And America is trying to stop them, and they hire who else but Indiana Jones to obtain these artifacts before the Nazis do. And of course, the big one we're talking about is the Ark of the Covenant. All of this instantly raises the stakes in this movie and has the audience invested in Indy's mission. And they continue to show Indy's naive side when he kind of underestimates the power that the Ark possesses. Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Last Crusade, The Temple of Doom, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Because fuck your rankings, that's why. And then we come to the character of Marion. And she has a checkered past with Indy, and it appears that he may have hit it and quit it, but we can't be for sure. Either way, she has animosity toward him, and of course he needs something from her. I'm just gonna say that Marion is not your typical female protagonist. She can hold her liquor, that's for damn sure, but she's also very strong, she's very capable. And even when she's captured and she's supposed to be the damsel in distress, she never really feels like she's in any danger. She never feels helpless because her character has been shown to be able to handle herself. This is a true, strong female character, and not like the forced ones we get in today's cinema.
Fuck you!
Again, Indy is shown to struggle against opponents that are bigger, stronger, faster than him. An issue that comes up a few times in this movie, and he deals with it in different ways. One of my favorite moments is when he comes face to face with the dude in the streets of Cairo who's got the sword and he's being all badass with it. And Indy's tired and he's exhausted. And rather than go toe-to-toe with this guy, he just nonchalantly pulls his gun out and shoots him. This is an unheroic move if it's done by anyone else. But it adds to Indy's character and again makes him more relatable. We can all relate. Sometimes you just don't feel like dealing with shit. I always found it interesting also how Indy finds the Ark relatively early in this movie, because the real challenge that's presented in this movie is keeping the Ark away from the Nazis and reacquiring it after he is double-crossed many times and actually loses it.
Son of a bitch.
Archaeology is a really cutthroat profession. I want to also mention Indy's rival in this movie, Bellic. He's presented to us like the anti-Indy. His motivations for hunting artifacts is much more selfish. He has more evil intent. And he makes for a nice foil for Indy throughout the course of this movie because it always seems like Indy is just one step behind this guy. Or he's one step ahead and this guy just somehow finds a way to take the artifact away from Indy.
Again, we see there is nothing you can possess which I cannot take away.
There's a top-notch action sequence in this movie that goes from the desert to the jungle to a small town in the blink of an eye. What's cool about it though is that Indy is outnumbered and outmatched through the course of the whole car chase. He loses control of the situation a few times and still manages to come out on top. And that statement right there that I just said sums up the character of Indiana Jones as a whole. The finale comes in the form of Indy and Marion being captured, and Bellic and the brain-dead Nazis want to open the Ark before they send it to Berlin. But they aren't as knowledgeable about the power within the Ark as Indy has become throughout the course of the movie. So when they open it, Indy and Marion don't look directly at it, and Bellic and the Nazis are attacked by angry spirits and a big blinding light that melts their faces off. I have to admit, for a movie that's been relatively grounded in reality up until this point, this supernatural moment isn't as jarring as you would think it would be. It still feels like it belongs in this world somehow, and that credit goes to Steven Spielberg, I think. Overall, I think Raiders of the Lost Ark is as close to perfect of a movie as you can get. It's got iconic, relatable characters, a plot filled with double crosses and swashbuckling adventure. This is why we go to the movies, for films like this. It's a fun ride and a masterpiece of filmmaking that needs to be viewed by all. That's why I'm going to give it the elusive Bill and Ted.
Excellent!
And I don't give that rating to many movies, so you know this is special. So have you seen Raiders of the Lost Ark? If you haven't, please go watch it right now. And let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Y'all be cool. Nah.